Hello guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to get the ISS boost badge in Space Sailors. Also, I'm going to be getting the rarest message in the ISS. Now I'm going to show you how to get into the ISS. I just assumed you probably should know how to get to the ISS if you want to get this badge. Now press rendezvous with ISS. And now you're at the ISS. Before you attempt this badge though, you need to make sure you're at least at 340 kilometers up. Sometimes the server you're in is very close to deorbiting, like 200 kilometers, and it's pointless to do this because it will take an extra 5 hours to do it. It's really pointless. You might have to do this process multiple times, or just buy the Teleport to ISS Game Pass to make your life 10 times easier. And apogee and perigee have to at least be 340. So, once you're in a server that at least has both abscesses at 340 kilometers, this is what you'll have to do. So you'll be spending most of your time in the Russian module. I don't totally know how to say it, but it's Zetva or something like that. That's the module you'll have to stay in. So find the part of the ISS that has the speed limit. Now go into this. It's a very narrow kind of yellow area. And you should keep going until you go into this area. Now this is the control panel you'll be looking at for most of the time. Now do not immediately reboost. You have to check some things. What you need to check is if you're at apsis. That basically means apogee or perigee. If you do not know, apogee is the highest point in the orbit, and perigee is the lowest point in the orbit. So you only want to really reboost when you're around those 2 points. The way you can tell if you're at apogee or perigee is 1. It says apogee and perigee on one of the computers. Also, it says your altitude. If your altitude is the same as either apogee or perigee, that means you're either at apogee if it's the same as that one, or perigee if it's the same as that one. So, here's what will happen if you reboost at perigee. So when you join, the orbit should be pretty circular, which means the vertical speed is never that high, and you can actually reboost at really any time. This will raise apogee. Now that you're at apogee, what would happen if you did not reboost is you would just go back down to the other orbit. And then there's something called orbital decay, which slowly lowers your orbit from atmospheric drag. It gets less intense the higher you go. So if you did nothing at apogee, you would just go straight back down and actually lose kilometers from orbital decay. Also, if this feels complicated to you, it is, because it's basically rocket science. Anyway, so what you have to do is when you're at apogee, you reboost again. And that makes perigee get higher and circularize the orbit again. Now the great thing about this is now the orbital decay is less intense, and you lose less kilometers from it. And you can just repeat this 3 times, and then you get all the way up to 390 kilometers. This does take like 3 hours to do or more, so be prepared to stay on your computer for a pretty long time. And the engines can unfortunately need service sometimes, and you can run out of rocket fuel. I'll show you how to deal with both of those things. As you can see right now, I am happily reboosting because I am currently at perigee. So my goal right here is to raise apogee. Also, regularly check this computer to make sure that none of the engines need servicing. As you're about to see here, one will need service in just a second. Did you notice it? That computer's indicator just turned red, or at least one of the two. As you can see, the one that turned red was engine 2, so that's the one we need to service. Now if both engines need service, You cannot even reboost. But I highly recommend you service it even if only one of the engines needs servicing. Also, probably the reason it needed servicing there is because, as you can see, on this computer, I have the propulsion mode set to ZESFA, or whatever it's named, and whenever it has the option for progress, absolutely use that one. In fact, it's actually faster than ZESFA, and I'm going to show you a tip with that in a second. Always set it to progress. It almost never fails with progress mode. And it's faster, so really always use that when progress is docked. Also, if you use ZESFA when the progress is docked, it fails really quickly and it's not efficient at all. Now let me show you how to service an engine just in case it needs servicing. Now before you go on a spacewalk outside the ISS, you should always check which engine needs servicing. In this case, it's engine 2. So to service it, you have to go out of the ISS. Follow me here into the area where the airlock is. Put on a spacesuit so you do not die, of course. Now pressurize it if it's not pressurized already. Once you're inside the airlock, wait for the door to close and then depressurize it once the door has closed. Once it's at 0 kilopascals, go outside of the cylindrical hatch. Once you're out, follow my steps. It's on the very back of the Russian module where the engines are. Now press E to check the second engine because that's the one that needed servicing. Even though you know it needs servicing, you always have to check it before. Keep holding E until it says, "This engine needs servicing." Now click E again to service it. And this is not all for nothing because you get a good amount of money in the game. Now you won't get as much as me if you haven't traveled this far because I have a lot of multipliers, but you still will get a good amount of money for servicing it. Now instead of going through the airlock again, I just recommend you reset and then you'll be teleported back into the ISS. Now go back into the Russian module and it should say it's fixed. Now keep reboosting if your vertical speed is any lower than 4 or -4. And the engine failed again. How nice. But now we have a problem, as you can see. The fuel is 0, you cannot reboost anymore. Now what we have to do to fix that is eat a ton of food. The reason why is because a progress docks, which is basically a progress is just a supply rocket. The reason why you have to eat so much is because it only docks when the ISS is low on resources. And this is the fastest way for sure to deplete your resources because it's right in the module. So just keep eating food constantly. And as you can see, you do not have to wait for the animation to finish. You can just press 1, click, 2, click, 3, click, 4, click, 5, click. 6 clicks super fast, and you eat so much food so much faster. Now that will hopefully get a progress to dock soon. Now make sure to have a progress ready and have the fuel 100% when you're not at Apsis. That's a good way to prepare for when you're at Apsis. Another thing to note is a progress does not leave until you stock everything inside of it. What I recommend though is you do not stock it all right away. You use up all the fuel and then after that you stock it. The reason why is so you can take advantage of the progress mode, and it goes much faster to reboost when you use that mode. So it's actually very helpful to keep the progress. Now once your fuel runs out, you'll have to stock the progress to make it leave, and then eat tons of food again to get a new one to come. As you can see, here I am stocking the progress cargo. Back to the time lapse. I was planning on recording audio of me when I got the badge at the exact moment, but it weirdly gave me it a little bit early. So be it. I'm very happy that I got it. Ta-da! There you go, 3 hours, but it was worth it. But wait, it's not over yet. You see, there's no message at the top. I was telling you about getting a really rare message that you can only get at a certain height. So, this message is the high altitude notice. Now, this is another thing you need to worry about. The progress modules actually take longer to come the higher you get. At 400, it takes extremely long, so there's a notice. I really want to see that notice now because it's the next thing, really, to see. So, I'm going to go to it. For this, we don't really need it to be a circular orbit because for the ISS boost badge, it has to be 390 at both apsises. But with this, we just want to see the message, or at least I just want to see the message once. So we only need apogee to be at 400. Oh, yes! I've never seen this. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. Hold on, that's crazy. This is the bell and the high altitude. Oh my god. I'm gonna take some nice pictures with it. My mission is now complete. I hope this tutorial helped because it took a while for me to make it and edit it. So, if you liked it, please subscribe because I need subscribers. Bye!